What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls pregame. Coming to you live from our studios here in the West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. Joined by my guys, Big Dave, BWL Sports, Will the Goat Gottlieb.
That's him.
Rocking the hoodie, Will_Gottlieb. Our panel producer, Joyce Bathurst, on the controls. He's at Joyce Bathurst. Shout out, everybody hanging out on YouTube, Fresh Bulls TV. What's up, buddy? Go Raptors, says Connor.
Drez, what up, baby?
What's going on, Drez? Yeah, Bulls Raptors on deck tonight. TNT game.
Ooh.
Well, national TV attention.
Why not?
I mean, the Raptors are one of the most interesting teams in the NBA currently because they're making deals on deals on deals. The Bulls, yeah, they're just hanging out. Interesting updates for tonight's game, including the fact that it sounds like the newest members of the Toronto Raptors, in the aftermath of the Pascal Siakam trade, including Bruce Brown, former champion with the Nuggets last season, available to play tonight. So we're going to see between that and then the Knicks trade that happened a few weeks back, Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, also now members of this new-look Raptors squad. Yeah. This is a different Raptors team than the first two times they met the Bulls earlier this season.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what it brings, you know, who they are. And what do they stand for? Shout out, John. Thank you very much. It's very kind to say. But, yeah, I'm very interested. Every time we play the Raptors, I'm always interested to play the Raptors. I don't know why. They're such an interesting team because they are who their name says they are. Like, everybody's a velociraptor on that team as far as their size, you know, and what they could kind of do. But now they've lost one of their biggest Raptors in Pascal Siakam. So I'm interested to see just, you know, who kind of steps up for them and steps into that role because I'm sure they want it to be Scotty Barnes, I'm sure. But I'm just interested to see if RJ Barrett or Quickley or, you know, kind of someone else wants to get on that road with them.
Yeah, and really I think what's happening right now is that they're changing their identity. I mean, they made two huge trades, obviously Siakam yesterday, and unfortunately for the NBA, this trade didn't go down a couple days earlier where they still could have flexed this game out of national TV because I'm sure it's not going to be very pretty, as most Bulls-Raptors games are not.
How dare you? It's going to be some of the best basketball we'll watch all season.
Come on, guys.
Appreciate that at all. We're going to enjoy this.
But no, I'm really curious to see how they look and just, you know, they're starting on a new path, and I think that's very exciting. I'm very interested.
Shout out to Anthony and your dog MJ, whose birthday is today, apparently. Named your dog after the GOAT.
And your little dog, too.
Hey. It's always a solid move, and the mark of a true sports fan if you name your pets after, like, your favorite athletes.
Is that what you're going to do?
Maybe, yeah, if I ever get pets someday.
Okay.
But, like, my sister and brother-in-law, shout out Em and Adam, they have two golden retrievers, and the older golden retriever, who they've had for, like, 12 years now, her name is Adrian, named after Adrian Peterson.
Oh, okay.
Because my brother-in-law's a huge Adrian Peterson fan from his days in Oklahoma.
Amazing running back.
And I know. I fought it. But to make up for it, the newest golden that just joined their family, who's now just a year old, is named Peyton.
Peyton Manning?
Walter Sweetness
All right.
Peyton.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, Big Dave, if you got a dog, would you name it Matt or Thomas?
I'll probably name it Legend.
I mean, Legend is a pretty dope name for a dog.
That is.
What was Will Smith's dog's name in I Am Legend? Like the zombie apocalypse
it was
movie?
Marley?
Samantha.
Bob.
Which is a weird
I thought it was
name.
like after Bob Marley or something like that.
I know he sings Bob Marley songs to his dog all the time.
Yeah.
Look it up here.
Joey's on it.
It's hard to think back to because it's so sad because his dog turns into a zombie dog.
He did.
Trying to protect him.
That was tough. Fish says my cousin in Detroit has a dog named Chauncey.
Oh, that's a good dog name.
Chauncey. Hey, Chauncey.
You're a little Chauncey.
Deja vu. Yes, that.
Connor said Raptors are so new look that Michael Porter Jr.'s brother is the starting center. So before we dive into tonight's Bulls Raptors, let's just touch on briefly this huge trade that also does have a fairly significant impact on the Bulls and a Central Division rival, that being the Indiana Pacers, who are boldly making moves, going out there, getting Siakam, a multi-time All-Star to play in their front court to pair with Halliburton. The Raptors get Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, and three first-round picks in exchange for Pascal Siakam going over there to Indy. 2 first-round picks in 2024, one of which will come from the Pacers themselves. The other one will be the least valuable first-round pick between OKC, Utah, Houston, and the Clippers. And then their Pacers own 2026 first-round pick, lightly protected 1 through 4.
Okay.
So what do you guys make of this deal? Because I saw people on Twitter largely saying, wow, the Raptors got a haul. Pacers overpaid to get Siakam. Siakam's on an expiring, unrestricted free agent this upcoming offseason. But I did note that Woj said in one of his many interviews or tweets that Siakam wanted to go to Indy, and he wants to play there, and he wants to continue playing there. And it sounds like he and the Pacers are on the same page for signing him to a long-term max deal this summer. Mm-hmm. So, because people are saying, "Wow, that's maybe an overpay." If you're not even sure you can keep Siakam after this half-season loaner. I think it's a solid trade for both teams. Both, Toronto going in a new direction, looking to kind of somewhat start fresh, accrue draft capital. And the Pacers have a competitive team, and they're saying, F it. Let's do everything we can to get better now, to try to win now. I think it's a solid trade for both teams.
Well, first of all, when this trade happened, I immediately got upset that people know the word fleeced. Because I'm sick of trades happening and everybody's using that word fleece. That you just see it flying out of everyone's mouths.
It is.
I hate it. I really don't like it at all. They got fleeced. They got fleeced. They got fleeced. Get a new word, all right? I don't think people know what they're talking about. Haul, yes. They got a haul for them, for sure. I never feel like you're overpaying when you get the person that you want. If that's who you want and that's who you got your eyes on, then that's not an overpay at all. And the fact that he wants to be there and he wants to play with them. Listen, when you give up 3 first-round picks, that's them telling you we're going to sign him. You're not going to give up 3 first-round picks for the Pacers for him to be there for half a season. Lakers, Boston, somebody at the top, great. Okay, makes sense. Indiana Pacers are not doing that. They clearly did this knowing he is going to sign with them. So that's why it's not an overpay, and it's definitely not a fleece. I feel both teams, like you, Matt, I feel both teams definitely came out getting exactly what they want and came out on top.
Yeah, I think in today's day and age, we're kind of past the era of teams giving up 3 first-round picks for stars, and yet we just saw it happen with Harden, and now we're seeing it again with Siakam. These picks are not the most valuable. I was talking about this with Mark yesterday on HQ, so if you want a full breakdown of our thoughts, go back and check that out. But, if you think about it in terms of what assets the Pacers had to give up, Ben Mathurin, Jarris Walker, Andrew Nembhard, future picks, they clearly felt like the players that they had on their roster, the young players that they had already drafted in the top 10, were more valuable than these picks. So you give up the worst of OKC, Utah, Houston, and the Clippers pick, which is going to be 28th or 29th. Via OKC, you give up your own pick, which is going to be low to mid-20s, and then a 2026 pick that's top 4 protected. And you just kind of have to bet that you're going to be really good at that point. And part of that is you believe that the young players that you didn't trade, Mathurin, Nembhard, Walker, are going to help you get even better. So I like it for them. I think it's a lot to give up on paper, but at the same time, I don't think that these picks are super valuable. They didn't have to give up any premium assets. I think it's great for both teams, and I think the fit for Indiana is absolutely perfect. Yes. I actually don't think Siakam is a very easy player to fit in with most teams, and so you put him on a team that has a floor spacing and rim protecting center. That really works for him, and then obviously the best point guard passer in the league right now, the ability to get up and down, shoot threes, transition, that pick and roll is just going to be super dangerous. So I really like it for both teams.
Chocolate Salty Bulls in the comments said, love you, Dave, but the Bulls wanted Vooch. and we still got that word you don't like.
No,
fleece.
they didn't. They did not.
Okay, but I would tend to agree. I don't know about getting fleeced. The Bulls came out on the losing end of that trade with Orlando.
Getting a losing end of a trade and getting fleeced are two different things, man.
Correct. So let's make that, clarification.
Yeah.
But and it kind of
Jet
leads
Howard.
me down a road of,
All right.
when I saw this trade, I rolled my eyes
Mm.
and I said, oh, God, look, another Bulls Central Division opponent aggressively going after what
Sure.
they want, being bold to get better. My subtext thinking that was I'm preparing myself for another trade deadline that comes and goes while the Bulls sit here and do nothing other than say to us once again, #continuity, believe in believing. Like, no, F you.
Believe in believing.
Like, here's a division opponent making aggressive moves. And there were multiple people in my replies being like, well, Peg, the Bulls kind of were bold when they made the Vooch trade and built this roster, and that's kind of what got them in this mess. And the Pacers, maybe they improve with Siakam, but losing all this draft capital, it's going to, bite them in the ass down the road or whatever. I think there's a distinction between where the Bulls were and where it got them when they were bold with the Vooch trade compared to where the Pacers are and where they could go with the Siakam trade. Because I think there's a difference between being bold to win now and being bold to suck less now. Whereas I think the Bulls were bold to suck less now, as opposed to actually win now, which is what the Pacers are trying to do.
I guess I agree with that in hindsight. After everything has happened with the Lonzo injury and all of that, yes, I'll go with that. But at the time, I don't think it was that. I think it was definitely to win now, and they definitely were winning until that roof caved in. But I think Indiana has been more bold, though, in general. Because let's go back to the other trade, which was the Halliburton trade. Mm-hmm. You traded Sabonis. That is a bold-ass trade. Mm-hmm. Because Sabonis was one of your best players and an all-star. You know what I mean? Like, this dude is legit. And you're trading for a rookie. I mean, not a rookie, but, second year.
Yeah.
But you're trading for a guy who wasn't starting like that at that position in Sacramento, who we saw had that skill. But you taking a risk because of what you already had established. It's still a risk. It's a bold move they did. And they got him. That's a bold move. And now they just made another one, getting Siakam, building their team. So I feel like their moves have been much more bold than the Bulls' trades and the trades that they did.
Yeah, the difference is that they ended up with a young star player.
Sure.
And so they kind of did it like the opposite way, where the Bulls went for older guys that were clearly at the very top of their game, if not on the downturn.
Yeah.
Versus the Pacers are going out and trying to acquire a player that they think could be really great one day. Mm-hmm. And I think that sets them up to be in a position of, a ton of runway to now be a really competitive team for multiple years. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Bulls have this defined window of, are Vooch and DeMar still high enough, and can Zach get to that point where you can start to really compete? And obviously it has not worked out that way. So clearly a different situation, but when you look at teams building through the middle, if you do want to pull this whole thing back to what the Bulls are doing, you look at the Pacers trade, that and even the Raptors trade for OG Anunoby, where you're not really getting a ton of draft capital back.
Yeah.
Instead, you're prioritizing young talent. Mm-hmm. I think that's the kind of move that if the Bulls do move on from DeMar, from Zach, that's kind of what's going to end up being the case, because they want to stay competitive and because it just does not seem like any of their guys are really worth that much in the way of draft capital.
And Fish, that's exactly what I was saying as well. Like Orlando, they got Wagner, who was awesome, for them. But Jet Howard, all right, and Wendell for all right. But who knew what those picks would be for the Bulls? That's why, you can still say it's a bad trade. But fleeced? No, that's not fleeced, all right, at all. If Jet Howard is fleecing you, come on, son. Let's get a new word out here.
You can't be getting fleeced if you're giving up Wendell Carter Jr.
Come on.
Just one man's
Let's be
opinion.
real about these things.
Let's quickly shout out a couple of sponsors, and we'll come back. Starting lineups for the Bulls and Raptors on the other side of the break. A couple of injury updates as well. We'll take a look at what Barrett and Quickley have been doing since putting on Raptors jerseys. Tonight's CHGO Bulls pregame brought to you by our friends at Circa Sportsbook, offering those tight money line splits and their low hold model, always striving to have those starting out odds at -110 for game spreads, for point total over-unders, unlike a lot of other sports books that'll push those to -115 or -120 for for no gosh darn good reason at all.
Gosh darn it.
Circa also keeps as little money as possible on large market bets, for example, NBA future bets. If you have an idea who's going deep in the NBA playoffs, who's going to win it all, the best place to get the best value on those NBA futures bets is Circa. Circa encourages their bettors to, of course, download and try their Circa Sports Illinois app because they're confident that you'll love it. But try downloading and using any other sports betting apps around. We know that there are lots. They know that there are lots to choose from. They're confident that more often than not, you'll find better value, better odds, better user experience than those other sports betting apps. And they know, without question, that you'll get the best customer service at Circa. So important. Real people behind the Circa Sports app, the same people that run the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Viva Las Vegas.
Shout out.
Download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Be on the lookout also for Circa's watch parties, events, and tailgates. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
Yeah. George Mathis, what time is it?
Game time hoop.
I like that. I like how Jimmy does this, the stumbling, rumbling to get there. I love it,
He's
man.
swimming up to the microphone.
You shouldn't have to worry when buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events nearest you with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying those tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It is not the place. No. It is the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, hockey, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. And with zone deals, you pick the section. Game Time does the selecting with an average savings of, drumroll Matt Pack, 18%. And Game Time guaranteed means you'll always, and I mean always, get the best price. So take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem that code CHGO. Get yourself $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Cause we'll go golly. What time is it?
Game time.
All right, y'all. Shifting gears to tonight's Bulls-Raptors contest. On the injury front, good news for the Bulls.
Okay.
Dalen Terry and Ayo Dosunmu both still on the injury report with their respective injuries. Ayo, the shoulder from when he crashed into the stanchion a few games ago. Dalen Terry still dealing with the patella injury. But they've both been given the green light tonight, in addition to Patrick Williams, who's still battling with that ankle, the sore ankle that's kept him out of some games recently. He is active, but will, as he had been doing recently, come off the bench for the Bulls. Billy Donovan tonight riding a starting five of Kobe, Zach, Caruso, DeMar, and Vooch.
I'm just wondering where Patrick Williams' ankle is, because he
hopefully in one place and not multiple places.
But we know him. He's known to be the kind of guy who has to kind of have everything in place before he puts that best foot forward. And I think we're kind of seeing that with the ankle, while he's kind of, his game is kind of dissipated as of late because that ankle, I think, is really bothering him.
The Raptors, meanwhile, have a couple of absences on their injury report. Our old friend Otto Porter Jr., yeah, that's right, he's still technically playing in the NBA.
Get them checks.
Except he's not playing because he's out with a knee injury. What else is new? Jakob Poeltl also out battling an ankle injury. But in an interesting note that came earlier today, Bruce Brown and Jordan Nwora, who just got over in that trade with Indy, available to play tonight. Neither of them will be starting. The Raptors starting five tonight, Immanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, who came over in that trade earlier this season from the Knicks.
Okay.
Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, and as someone in the comments pointed out, that's right, Jonte Porter as your starting five.
Shout out
Jonte Porter, who was on the Bulls Summer League team.
That is right.
Played well.
Vegas.
I totally forgot about that until
he's
just now.
He's actually been playing pretty well. They're taking all the scraps from the Bulls Summer League roster. Javon Freeman Liberty also getting some minutes recently. I'm really curious to see which direction the Raptors try to go this season, because they owe their pick top 6 protected to the Spurs.
Okay.
Right now, they are the 6th worst team in the league.
They are.
So if the draft landed as it is, they would get to keep their pick. But you've got 5 teams that are really bad in front of them in the Tankathon standings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they'll, and like with the Hawks and the Nets being as bad as they are, obviously the Bulls have a little bit of breathing room in that 9th seed. I wonder if they still try to go for the play-in or if they really try to tank. I don't think they'll be able to get much lower just looking at where the Pistons and the Wizards and the Spurs are. The Grizzlies are about to just be a disaster, having lost Ja Morant and Marcus Smart. And Brandon Clark is probably not coming back, and Steven Adams is not coming back. Who knows what happens with them? But I don't think they're going anywhere.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, Toronto is, 16-25. Atlanta's currently in 10th. So they're a game and a half back of 10th. Which, if it were the Bulls in that position, we know what they would be doing.
But they're not in that position because they got a better record.
Yeah, they're
shout out.
Bulls are in 9th.
Let's keep winning, baby.
Howdy ho.
Got to keep winning to get to 500.
I agree, Will. It's very. I am curious to see what they try to do with the remainder of their season, especially with that pick protection that they're looking at. But so let's take a look at what RJ Barrett and Quickley have done since arriving in that trade with the Knicks. They've played 9 games, and as I just mentioned, the Raptors starting lineup, they were arrived in a trade and thrown into that starting lineup. And have both put together some respectable numbers and shooting splits in these first 9 games as Raptors. Barrett averaging over 20 points a game, Quickley nearly 19 points a game. Both shooting very well from behind the arc since the trade. Barrett 43%, Quickley 47%. Also both doing some work in the rebounding and assist categories as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's still I feel like Quickley, maybe because he has not been around as long, but maybe even with RJ Barrett, do you think that there's a possibility that we see versions of these players that we did not see with the Knicks?
Oh, that's a great question. I think there's a possibility you see versions with guys like RJ Barrett, only because RJ Barrett is home. And I feel like when guys usually go home, they either sink or swim. It's never in between. They either just ball out or they get too accustomed to being at home and they just do nothing. So RJ Barrett just seemed like he would be much more comfortable though at home. So I feel like if anybody's going to spike, it could be him. And I understand the argument for Quickley for sure. Like I'm not going to be surprised if he goes off either because that dude is talented and super skilled and he's going to get an opportunity. I was just looking up the minutes to see how many minutes he was playing out here. In his last games with Toronto, 28, 32, 37, 26, 26, 36, 24, and 36, respectively. So he's going to get an opportunity to showcase what he can do. But it's hard for me to take away. It's not even going home to another state. It's going home to another country. You know what I mean? Like that's a different kind of feel. So I wouldn't be surprised if RJ was the one, Will.
Well, I just think that's exactly what the Raptors are betting on. They made these trades to try to bring in guys that they felt like if they had a different opportunity or more opportunity or better opportunity, that they could really take the leap. And I think you're starting to see it with both of these guys. I don't think RJ is going to shoot as well as he has. I think, 57% from the field? That's not going to keep up. But I think both these guys are super talented. They have less pressure and more room to kind of feel out who they are. And, I think the stakes are a lot lower in this Toronto situation versus trying to compete for a top 4 seed with New York being below Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson in the kind of pecking order. So, I'm very excited to see for the Raptors just like how far these kids can go. And I think Quickley especially is somebody that I really believe in as a player that could become maybe like a fringe all-star caliber guy.
Dreads in the comments saying they Quickley and Barrett will both have longer careers now not playing for Tibbs. do y'all see the last couple of games, minutes played for OG Anunoby over there in New York?
I saw someone call him New All Day.
43. New All Day.
Well done. Well done, Internet.
Connor in the comments saying, unlike in New York, RJ Barrett so far hasn't been asked to just catch and shoot. They've been letting him have the ball and go downhill more often. But, interestingly, he's actually, and again, it's just a 9-game sample size. RJ Barrett's usage percentage since he came to Toronto significantly lower than most often what it was with the Knicks, and especially through his first 26 games this season with the Knicks. His usage percentage to begin this season in New York was 27. So far through these 9 games with the Raptors, it's down to 22.5.
Do you think it has to do with the minutes, though?
Could be.
Okay, because I know Tim, he was usually near the top of the league in minutes when he was in New York. Knees just screaming. that was usually the case. I don't know what it is here, but just looking at Quickley numbers, there's been a mix.
He actually, this season, before trading him, Tibbs was being normal.
No, that was him being done with him. That wasn't him being normal.
Yeah, I think he was just kind of falling out of the
exactly.
rotation.
He
got DiVincenzo. He's got Josh Hart now. I think he
29.5 minutes per game is what RJ was playing with the Knicks before getting traded this season.
Done.
And in his 9 games thus far with Toronto, up to 33.3 minutes per game.
There you go. Okay. So. Yeah, Tibbs helped him then because he was done. If Tibbs not playing you, you want to play, you want to play. Tibbs not playing you, he done with you. It's that simple.
J2 Amira is saying, yo, everybody, hope everybody had a good day. Let's go Bulls. Side note, vanilla extract on a toothache is heaven sent.
Ooh.
Was that advice that...
Just a side note?
Where'd you find that? Sorry you have a toothache, but yeah, where did this at-home remedy come from?
I don't know, but I hope I never have to find out that it works.
Fish pointing out that the Knicks called those guys the, quote, softies. That did make its way around NBA Twitter recently. Got the nickname. And speaking of, didn't they say there was somebody who had a report that the Knicks aren't done shopping some of their players?
I did see that.
That Grimes is also now on the trading block?
Grimes hasn't been happy from what has been reported. He's not happy with his role. And if you're not happy in your role, Tibbs will be like, well, get out. He's pretty simple about that.
Get out.
In that report, also, the Knicks were mentioned as a team that would be interested in Bruce Brown, who obviously just got shipped to Toronto. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Should be interesting, man.
Everybody wants Bruce Brown.
It's true.
Like everybody.
Like an Alex Caruso.
Including our friends over at DNVR who were like, get Bruce Brown back.
Send him home, baby.
I saw they did an episode recently and talking about like deadline moves that the Raptors could make to beef up their roster for their playoff run to defend the title.
Yeah.
Drummond and Caruso were both in the graphic they made for the episode.
I saw it.
Like, guy, hey, let's go get these guys.
Yeah.
With the 58th overall pick.
I said you can have Drummond and Caruso for Joker.
Yeah.
No negotiating.
I was going to add to that tweet, and I forgot to. And I was going to say, guys, forgive Matt. He's crazy. Just give us Murray and Porter, and then you can have Drummond and Caruso.
You know what? I'd take that.
Yeah, more fair. I feel like it's more fair. Come on.
I really want Aaron Gordon. I love Aaron Gordon.
You do love Aaron Gordon.
I love me some Aaron Gordon.
You do love Aaron Gordon.
Give me Aaron Gordon.
I think leave him. He's Mr. Denver, though, man. He's got to stay.
Yeah.
He's got to stay. But Michael Porter Jr.? Murray? Yeah, come on this way.
I feel like I wouldn't be allowed to enjoy Michael Porter Jr. because I was very staunchly, like, not anti-Michael Porter Jr., but I was podcast way back then during that draft class.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
And I was like, dude, this guy's medical's coming into the draft.
You were pro-medicine.
I was pro medical reports that said don't draft this guy and defending the Bulls front office a little bit, as opposed to everyone else roasting them for passing on that guy because I was terrified. And look, MPJ missed a large portion of time out of the gate to start his career. Happy for him and good for him.
Yeah.
He's managed to battle his way through that, but
shout out to him.
I feel like I wouldn't be allowed to enjoy a good, healthy Michael Porter Jr. because I was very publicly against drafting him.
So, the second anything happens to him,
hey, I'm a lot of things and I'm loud and I'm obnoxious, but I always try to not be a hypocrite.
That's true. He tried. Yes, that's true. Puts in the effort. You should too.
We are past 6:30 Central Time. That means tip-off right around the corner. Bulls, Raptors, Part 3. Season split so far. Bulls took the first one. That was that dramatic OT win, if you recall, back in October. Caruso in the corner. And then Raptors took Game 2. Game 3 on deck. We will be right back here for post-game. On your way out, thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Do it for Joey.
Do it for him.
He needs the thumbs in the jar.
Hand them to him.
You got to. We'll talk to you for post-game. Will the go, Will_Galley, Big Day Bow. BWL Sports, Bulls_Peck, our producer, and our friend, Joey Spathis.
Shout out to Grandpa.
Tip off. Let's go.